Benny Andersson, the quiet genius behind the music of ABBA, shaped the sound of a generation without ever seeking the limelight. While the world danced to hits like Dancing Queen and mourned with The Winner Takes It All, Benny was the one who crafted the emotional core of their music. Born on December 16, 1946, in Stockholm, Benny grew up in a working-class home where music was a cherished tradition, not a career. His father, a civil engineer, and his grandfather, a self-taught musician, introduced him to the accordion at the age of 6. It was this humble instrument that sparked Benny's lifelong fascination with melody and harmony. Rather than seeking stardom, Benny focused on understanding music's inner workings. He taught himself the piano by ear, and by the time he was 10, he was already playing for family gatherings and school concerts, from rock bands to pop sensations. In 1964, Benny joined the Swedish rock band, the Hep Stars, where his talent quickly stood out. Their songs, such as Sunny Girl and Wedding, were written by Benny himself. This early success helped Benny hone his skills as both a songwriter and a studio arranger. He became known as the band's musical brain and began to understand the commercial and technical aspects of the music industry. In 1966, Benny met Björn Ulvaeus, a member of the folk pop group the Hootenanny Singers. Their collaboration was immediate, and the two began writing together, blending their complementary strengths, Benny's emotional composition and Björn's witty lyrics. Their partnership formed the foundation for ABBA's future success. The birth of ABBA, a musical revolution. By the early 1970s, Benny and Björn, alongside Agnetha Fältskog and Annie Frid Lyngstad, had formed ABBA. Though their initial attempts at the Eurovision Song Contest were unsuccessful, they persevered. In 1974, their song Waterloo won Eurovision and launched them into international stardom. From that moment, Benny was no longer just a pop musician. He became a sonic architect. His meticulous arrangements, combined with his ability to layer harmonies and experiment with synthesizers, created the unique sound of ABBA. Benny's perfectionism in the studio was legendary. He would often spend days reworking a single harmony until it felt emotionally right, focusing on creating timeless music rather than chasing trends. The heart of ABBA's music: emotional depth. ABBA's sound was marked by its ability to blend joy with sorrow, and this was Benny's gift to the band. Songs like Knowing Me, Knowing You, and Fernando carried a duality, bright, catchy melodies layered with deeper, melancholic undertones. Benny crafted the emotional subtext of ABBA's music. While Agnetha and Frida dazzled on stage with their performances and Björn's lyrics captured universal emotions, it was Benny's arrangements that gave the music its soul. He understood that each note, every chord, and even the spaces between them held meaning. Through his careful craftsmanship, Benny built more than just a pop band. He built a kingdom of sound. The cracks appear, a silent unraveling. As ABBA's fame soared in the 1970s, the cracks in their personal lives began to show. In 1979, Björn and Agnetha divorced, yet the band continued to work professionally, trying to maintain the magic in the studio. However, by the early 1980s, Benny and Frida's relationship also began to unravel. Their once fiery and symbiotic connection in both music and life had started to falter. Benny's obsessive perfectionism, which made him a brilliant producer, left little space for emotional connection at home. Frida, an expressive and emotional woman, began to feel the growing absence of Benny in their relationship. In 1981, Benny fell in love with Mona Nurklet, and the emotional divide between him and Frida became too vast to repair. Benny's truth, exhaustion, and emotional collapse. In November 2024, Benny Andersson finally spoke out about the real reasons behind ABBA's split. In an interview with The Guardian, he admitted the band had simply reached a point of exhaustion. The marriages were falling apart, the music was starting to feel unnatural, and they had nothing left to give. Benny's candid admission that the band's breakup was not the result of betrayal or artistic conflict, but rather emotional depletion, came as a shock to many fans. For years, they had been left to speculate, wondering if the band's end was due to personal or professional issues. But in his interview, Benny laid it bare. They had given everything they could, and when there was nothing left, they chose to walk away quietly. The healing truth, a quiet revelation. Benny's revelations about ABBA's breakup brought a sense of closure to the fans who had longed for answers. His acknowledgement of the emotional collapse that led to the band's dissolution validated the sadness that many had felt in ABBA's later albums. Songs like One of Us and Like an Angel Passing Through My Room were not just musically different, they were emotionally raw. The melancholy in these songs reflected the turmoil behind the scenes. Benny's honesty about their emotional exhaustion brought healing, as it explained the heaviness that listeners had felt, even if they couldn't put it into words at the time. The end of ABBA was not a scandal. It was a natural conclusion to a journey that had become unsustainable. Frida's grief and the royal life. After ABBA's dissolution, Frida embarked on an unexpected journey. In 1992, she married Prince Heinrich Rousseau of Plauen, joining the European aristocracy. Life as a princess was far from the glamorous fairy tale many imagined. The rigid expectations of royalty clashed with Frida's spontaneous and emotional nature. Yet it was not the pressure of royal life that truly broke her. It was the devastating loss of her daughter, Anneliese, in a car accident in 1998. The grief that followed her daughter's death was immense, and Frida retreated from the public eye, seeking solace in silence. During this time, Benny reached out to her, offering a quiet connection that only two people who had lived through the highs and lows of ABBA could understand. ABBA's return, the Voyage experience. In 2018, after decades apart, ABBA stunned the world by reuniting to record 2 new songs. The announcement was a shock, but it wasn't just the new music that captured attention. It was the innovative approach to their performance. ABBA Voyage, which opened in 2022, wasn't a traditional concert, but a digital experience. Using motion capture and avatar technology, ABBA recreated their 1979 selves, performing live with a 10-piece band at a specially built arena in London. Benny took complete control of the production, ensuring that every detail, from the sound to the visual effects, was authentic and emotionally precise. The concert was a resounding success, selling over 1.3 million tickets and attracting fans from all over the world. The final truth: survival, not perfection. As Benny reflects on his life and ABBA's legacy, he no longer hides behind perfect harmonies or studio walls. In recent interviews, he has admitted that music was his escape from the pain he didn't know how to express. "I gave my best lines to songs, not to the people who needed to hear them from me," he confessed. This raw honesty reframes everything fans thought they knew about the band. ABBA's music was never about perfection. It was about survival. The songs weren't just catchy tunes, they were real, complicated, and human. They were the voices of 4 people trying to hold themselves together in the face of personal and emotional challenges. And now, at 78, Benny has finally let us into the heart of the music he created. Through his honesty, he has given fans the closure they never knew they needed. ABBA's music wasn't a polished fantasy. It was a reflection of the fragility and strength of those who made it.